You remind me of a Sunday back home in old Kentucky, with church choirs just belting to the part.
This is my mood, Selena, right now.
And I love you like the mountain.
All right, I'm here for it.
This is my song right here.
Is it?
When I'm in a dark place, thinking about Kentucky basketball being over.
So if it make you stay,
I mean, I get it. We're all in a dark place, Rando.
I wouldn't act so angry all the time. Oh, golly, I can't believe it's over.
I know. It went by so fast. So fast.
I know.
Like-
So many good memories. But yeah, it got us quick. It got us quick.
I swear we were just like trying to make a team, and I don't think we even knew we'd have a coach by this time last year. It wasn't.
Yeah.
Holy shit. We not even at the part where we lost Cal and got Pope and everyone had a meltdown for 12 hours and everyone was on board and magically 2 days later. We're not to that part yet.
Yep. We
All right, what
it
are we
was
pouring?
definitely. I figured this was right. A little rare breed. A little wild turkey rare breed for the boys.
All I have is this.
That's all right. Teach their own.
You have a drone,
I didn't
too.
even ask. I came in with my feels. How you doing, Selena?
I mean, I'm in my feels too, I guess. I mean, our boys are done.
Yeah, the IG post.
Oh my God. My heartstrings.
All of them, man. All of them are just, especially like I said, the Lamont Butler ones really get me. He well, I'll ask you, but I was gonna talk about the season beforehand. But Lamont easily my favorite player on this team. Like what he meant for it, what he did for the team. Yeah, just kind of connected with him the most. And as many good memories as we had, and we'll recap them. It does feel like we got cheated a little bit out of this season with all the injuries
little bit.
and not being able to fit. It was the dumbest question I've seen on Twitter, and it's been from national media, Kentucky folks, pundits, whatever. Was let's grade Mark Pope first season BBN. What do you think? It's like there's one answer. You're going to give it a letter grade. Yes, absolutely. Knocked it out of the park. Absolutely crushed it. Came into an impossible situation and figured it out with no roster, expectations through the roof. Probably unfairly because it was his first year and this was the biggest spotlight he's been under as a coach. But yeah, definitely feels like we got a little bit cheated, especially when you go back and look at the season and what we have and seeing two teams in the Final Four that, yeah, sure, they're not the same teams they were when we played them, but knowing that we beat both of them, two of them, that stinks. That stinks.
It does. I still want to cover, like, I still can't help but think about the what ifs. You know what I mean? Like, the what if we were healthy all year? The what if, like,
yeah, I was watching
Jackson or Kerr. You know, like,
that's what I was just about to say. Someone put out a cut up of Jackson Robinson highlights, and a lot of them were in that Duke game, in the Gonzaga game, in that comeback.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the one time we watched him suit up against Tennessee in Knoxville, and you're like, you forget, like, dude was so good. He was he was the guy we paid and waited for all offseason, let him go through the draft process for a reason. Like, he was making plays that you forget that he was capable of doing. And
he's so smooth too. Like,
yeah,
watching him on the court. Like, some players, and they'll seem very, like, sped up all the time when they play. You know what I mean? Like, their shots really quick, everything's really fast. But, like, Jackson he's very fluid. I don't know how else to describe. He's, like, very fluid. You know what I mean? Like it's not like a normal
Yeah, no, I
type of
think
thing.
the first word you use, he's just smooth with it. It's
Yeah.
he's and very impressive, and he's hopefully he gets healthy, gets a chance to show some things before the
Yeah.
in the draft combine process before the for the draft because he still I mean it stinks because he didn't get the highlight deep into the postseason late in the season when a lot of the eyes are are on college basketball. Uh, but I don't think he did anything while he was here that should reduce his draft stock outside of not being healthy. But that hopefully that's an injury that you can get back from and just just get back to what he was doing before he got hurt.
Hmm.
Well, where do we start? We want to what do you
I guess
think
just let's
the
recap this thing.
Yeah, what do you think the most impressive piece of the season was? Either the roster construction, the wins, the staff. Like, what would you put as your the most impressive or most important part of a really impressive first year for Pope?
Uh okay. So I think that the roster construction and how it was done by Pope in the very short amount of time that it was done. Oh no, I got my shot glasses off. Shit. Um my bad. I think the short amount of time that it was done in, and then like the culture that the foundation was laid for, like laid with. Um, because think about it, none of the other stuff would have happened this season if that integral piece, had not been done first. Um, like that's you don't have the wins that you have. You don't have um, the good core memories with the group that we have. You don't have that if that piece hadn't been done first. At
Yeah,
least
no,
my opinion.
I like that take because it was. You can argue did Pope get the most talented players in the portal? There's some say he came in and he got what he could. There's been a lot of been stuff going out now that it's back in the portal season and kind of I think people forgetting the nuances or the
Yeah.
um, some of the things that he had to deal with in last portal season, but he got the dudes that he had to get, right? We didn't have a lot of depth. Every piece, every player that he got had a specific role. And we saw that when that role was taken from us because of injury or whatnot,
Hmm.
there was a significant gap in the team.
Yep.
But you're right. He went out and got dudes that he needed um, to fit a role. And one of those roles was to set the foundation to be like the inaugural Pope team that was successful and to set the bar high, like Lamont Butler talked about. He had to
Yeah.
get specific guys. A specific culture had to be set. And
Hmm.
Lamont Butler, Berea, Carr, Ansley, Jackson, Kerr, all those players had a specific role, and
Yeah.
the the way I can highlight it was Lamont Butler being out, and we're 100th and whatever in Kim Palm defensively, and then he comes back, and we instantly, over a month, become a top 50 team.
Yeah.
Um, Carr goes out, and we don't have a consistent, uh, guy who can play with his back to the bucket, go to kind of guy. And the front court just kind of struggled at times. It wasn't consistent. He comes back healthy. Next thing that piece is there. We have a silencer, if you will. A team can go on a run. Even his shot blocking ability started coming back when his back was healthy. So you could see
Yeah.
when a piece of the puzzle was missing. Unfortunately, Pope was kind of searching for answers, and we saw that at times. But when this team was clicking, it was special. Um,
Hmm.
and
But
to be good,
I was going to kind of touch on your puzzle piece there for a second. It's it is integral, like obviously, like, and you notice um how important everybody was to the puzzle. I just moving forward, and this is not a negative on anything. I just hope that there's not a big of a gap moving forward if something happens. That was my only like big concern, but I get again, I understand like the entire like reasoning for that. It's just it was hold on, Jay. Yeah, it was impressive. Also impressive, Jay. BB talking portal patients? Is that what we're talking
I'm
about
sorry.
here? I'm reading the chat.
Oh, I can overlay it real quick. Let's see. Let's overlay this thing.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, let's do that. Patients
Oh, it's only, there we go. Boom. Um, yeah, so I agree, and you can see it in like Florida. Like Florida has its like you're only going to get one Walter Clayton Jr. Right? Like there's only one
Oh
guy
yeah,
who's
only one of
special
those.
like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
For Auburn, there's only one Janai Broom. There's only one Pettiford on that team. Like, but
Yeah.
if you look at Florida, they have Condon, and then they got this other dude starts with an H. I forget. Like they have pieces that can come in. There's like two of everything. Now there's the second is a little bit of a downgrade, which you expect. Like there's your stud, your starter, and then there's a little bit of a
Right.
downgrade. But if something were to happen, Condon for Florida went down with an ankle injury and missed a game and a half or something. Somebody could step up and take that spot. For Tennessee, Zakai went down for a game, and Jordan Gainey stepped up when they played
Yeah.
Florida and beat them by like 20. So like to have a guy like that, or to have multiples of in the same position, yes, slight downgrade, but someone who could step up and fill that role is important. But like you highlighted, when you have 2 weeks to build a team, depth is probably not something you're gonna have the luxury of having.
Right.
Now going into next year, again, because Pope didn't have like a freshman class to recruit either. His freshman class was Colin Chandler coming back, who hadn't played ball in 2 years.
And
So now
Travis
having, yeah, okay,
and
Travis
Trent,
stayed.
they were the freshman class.
Yeah, okay. I guess when I
Did you
say
mean
freshman
like
class,
what he brought with
like,
him?
well, no, I meant like the ability to recruit to Kentucky. So he didn't have a Jasper Johnson and a Caden Lewis, a Malachi Marino. Like he didn't have a
Oh,
class to
okay, okay, okay.
help with
Okay.
that depth, right? So he has talked about a roster construction of being, um, a mix of returners, portal guys, first year portal guys,
Hmm.
and then freshmen coming in.
Yeah.
Yes, I should have acknowledged Travis Berry and Trenoa. That I didn't mean to like just discount them, but I think if we wouldn't have had injuries, we would agree that Travis Berry and Trenoa wouldn't have seen very many minutes at all during conference play, right? Trent
Yeah.
kind of and they got thrown into that, and they stepped up and they played well, but they didn't necessarily fill the shoes that we needed for a Jackson Robinson being out or a Lamont Butler being out,
Yeah.
or an Andrew Carr being out. So I think that helps with depth too. So now you have a 5-star and 2 4-stars coming in.
Hmm.
Actually, I should have it on right now. I think the McDonald's All American game is going to
Great to
start
start.
here.
It's great to
Yeah.
start.
Um,
I was watching some of the girls, and Kaylin Carroll, I believe, UK signee.
yeah.
She's really good. She's actually really
The
good.
She's the one from Minnesota.
I thought maybe, or that's
I know.
Madison Greenway or Maddie Greenway. I don't remember which one's which.
That yeah, that might be it. Um,
I
but
think Maddie's from Minnesota.
okay.
I think.
Uh, we're gonna have to before we get off of this. We're gonna have to talk about the women's team. I want to get your take
God,
on the last
Rando,
couple
I do
days.
not. I do not. I do.
We got to have to talk about it. We got to have to talk about it.
Hi, Paige.
Yeah, what's going on, Paige? Yeah, I agree, Jay. Like now we have a full like cycle, and uh, we'll talk about portal. We'll get there, but we have so much more time now. Pope has can actually get to his vision instead of having just to have one piece of a puzzle and then hope that that piece can stay healthy. And then when we talk about portal, I also have my take that we'll talk about later on why maybe we're going after sophomores and stuff like people who can return or not into their like they're going into their 5th year.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about portaling after this season. But so my I think the what is most important for this season. Um, you mentioned those pieces in the culture.
Yep.
That I mean that was going to be what I said too. But so if I have to look at something else, it was him, Pope, the players, all that stuff was great. Winning games, but the ability to win the off season by putting together a staff that is just so wildly diverse and talented, come
Hmm.
from different places. Hart having NBA connections, AB coming from Baylor, being a great recruiter, Feger being like this crazy analytical stat genius type
Offensive
dude.
guru. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Mark Fox coming in and being the defensive guy, but having a head coach experience in the SEC. Um, having a diverse background of coaching and the talent. I would have to say that was my second, because if those people can stay together and they have a full off season, and
Mhm.
they're very data driven, so they have a full season of data to look at and say, okay, this is the reason why we came out flat in a couple games when we should have easily won. This is the reason why we were successful and we won games that we probably shouldn't have, being undermanned. Like, now they can collect all that data and say, okay, these are the pieces we need to fill. This is what we need to focus on in the offseason. They can look at things like, when we went to Vandy on elevated court, we didn't play well. So, like,
Mhm.
what can we do to help fix that? When we went to a stadium and these guys had never played in a stadium before, we didn't play well. So, like, can we start adding some of these things in the off season, and doing a tournament in the summer, or doing whatever to get our guys ready for some of the weirdness that happens in either conference play or tournament play. So I think these big basketball brain dudes that are on the staff will be big, because that the X's and O's piece, and on top of like the leadership qualities that they have, I think that's big as we
Mhm.
move forward. And your only fear there is that one of them's going to get poached for a head coaching job or
Coaching
something
job.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, something like that.
Unfortunately, that is also part of this nonsense. Chat. um, see, JP, I'm weird about the big time recruit thing. First off, and I will repeat my tweet. BBN, y'all not made for this portal season. You guys are losing your damn minds. It's been open like 3 or 4 days. We already have one commit. We don't even know where any of our players are actually going besides Kerr at the moment. He's transferred. Like, we don't know anything, and they're losing their mind, losing 6 seniors. Okay, well, we have 3 freshmen coming in for sure. Like, what are we doing? Like, why are we freaking out? Um, and I don't necessarily want a giant, huge, like, big time commitment. I want someone who's going to fit in the system, fit with BBN, and carry on the culture. Like, I'd rather have that, because, like, you didn't have a giant commit this season, and look what happened. You know what I mean? Like, there wasn't like. Does that make sense? Like, I don't.
Yeah,
I'd
it
rather
makes
just
sense
have
to me.
culture.
And I mean, they're you know how do I say, guy that I would say that we trust, um, with information, and someone who's not actively looking to actively like benefit from that information, just has some information.
Yeah.
And when he says y'all gotta chill, because Pope's in the shop right now, like he is building something special. Y'all gonna
Oh, okay. I
be
know you're talking about.
like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
wildly, yeah, you're gonna be like wildly
Yeah.
surprised when this stuff comes out. Just like pump your brakes. Like, all I have to go, I see that and I'm like, all right, I have no worries now, because like I understand that, yes, you can look at potential quote unquote misses, guys that, just because the Kentucky logo is tied to a edit from somebody who tracks a transfer portal as saying we reached out, like, that doesn't mean we missed on them because we didn't get them. We reached out and said, hey, what's your interest in Kentucky? What kind of money are you looking for?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
they tell us the something that we don't want to hear. It's like, okay, now we appreciate it. We already have one of you coming in, or like, my other take of, talking about this team is Otega. Like, Otega's going to cost a lot of money when he comes back. Like,
Yeah.
if Otega Oweh hit the portal right now, every major program
We'll be
that
after
like
him.
would it be everybody, and they'd all be dropping a bag. Everybody, they'd be making phone calls to boosters like, "Hey, if we want to take Oweh, I need $1 million here. I need $1 million here." Like he would garner top 3 money in the portal. I have no doubt about it. So you have to consider that and say, if we want to keep him, we're going to have to funnel some money to him, and we're going to have to, there's going to have to be some promises made to him, which I think he deserves. Like, hey, we're building the team around you. Next year, the goal is to win games, spotlighting you as our best player, right?
Yeah.
And he earned that. He deserved that, this year. Playing healthy the entire time, stepping up, helping us win massive games. He was consistently on the floor, the best abilities, availability, and Otega was always available for this team.
Yeah.
So, like when we're talking about the portal and we lose, X guard to this school or whatever, if you're just going to throw money at people all willy nilly, like just because you want, big names on your team, you look like Kansas this year. You look like UConn this year. You look like Baylor this year. You look like Rutgers this year, right? All these teams, you look like them who, hey, I got all this talent. I paid a bunch of money to have this talent. And guess what? We lost a bunch of fucking games with that talent because it wasn't connected. The puzzle pieces didn't fit. You're just like trying to mash shit together because it's a bunch of money and it doesn't actually fit the culture you need, right? Because you need alphas, you also need betas. Like you also need, you got to have the chief, and then you got to have a bunch of Indians who like fall in line and go, "Hey, I know it's what my role is. I'm not the dude right now. Could eventually be that guy for Kentucky, but that's not me at the moment. The dude at the moment is Otega Oweh, and we need folks who can kind of work around him. Now, can Coach Pope go get this, Yaxel kid and him be like a 1-2 punch, and now you have your like that Kobe Bryant Shaq meme, right? Now that makes sense because now I think you can have 2 alphas in different positions, a guard forward spot to be successful. But yeah, I ain't worried about the portal at all. It's
I'm
gonna
not either.
the shit's gonna start trickling in. We're gonna get players, and every time we get a player, it's gonna be like, boom, makes sense. All right, the market value was right. The piece fit is what we needed, and we're gonna be fine. But
And that means we get more Cody Figure booms.
boom,
We
gotta
love the
love
big
it.
tweets.
He's gotta be a little more timely. Like I know you're busy, man. You're on flights, and we're like we're back into train placking season. But like you got
Hamlin
your
was like
phone
a
on you.
day late. I was
Yeah,
like,
like
we're already over this
you got
already.
your phone. I know that private jet's got some Wi-Fi on it, so let's send that bitch out so we can know. Like we have people that are like not sleeping, waiting for your booms, dude. So like, how about we
Hey,
be
Rando, are you
considerate?
people not sleeping?
I'm sorry.
So are you people not sleeping?
Maybe.
Are you the person not sleeping?
Yeah, maybe I'm selfishly telling Cody to figure it out for me and my health benefits, but I think all be being appreciated. All right, what was your? You can't have multiple. I'm gonna put you on the spot. What is your
Oh my God, why?
one favorite moment from this season? And there's a lot of good ones. There's a lot
Oh
of good
my
ones. So what was your
God, there's
all-time
so many.
favorite moment from the season?
Oh,
Mhm.
there's so many of them. Uh,
While you think about it, I'll go through the chat. Round of shots. We appreciate you. We'll jump on
yeah.
your space here when it's over. JP, yeah, I think Magoon's a massive piece, and uh, Zach comeback. KV, that was a good one. Great moment. But yeah, having Magoon, we got to get him like we got to get that man a cheeseburger and in the gym, put a little. He's a little light in the ass, as they say, but we can get him, a little off season prep. Put a little weight in them cakes. We'll be good to go. I think he'll be
Wait in the
dangerous.
cakes. Gotta be caked up on a Tuesday. Caked up on a Tuesday.
Oh, we got a bunch of them. All right, sweeping
I know.
Tennessee. Go be
I
playing
can't
Florida.
decide.
Yeah. All right, I'll go first. So because JP just put him out. The win against Duke was my favorite moment. I was looking through it. The Ortega game winners, those were massive, just because the emotion flow through that sweep in Tennessee in the regular season, um, the Florida win, ending the season on the road as a dog in Missouri and winning that game. But like, all those great moments. Hell, you could say 25,000 interrupt when we introduced Pope as the coach. Great moment.
Actually, you know what?
But
That might be my favorite moment from the season. I feel like that was the start of the season, and being in there for that, I will never forget it. I will never
oh,
forget
you
it.
were in the stadium.
Oh,
You were in Rupp.
I was in the
Oh,
shit.
that's
Yes.
awesome. That was
Oh yeah.
awesome. I was
Oh yeah.
holding my camera up to the TV in Colorado Springs. I hadn't moved yet, so I was in
Oh,
Colorado
I
Springs.
forgot you were over there
Yeah,
still.
yeah. So I was.
Forgot.
That's how I watched it. Trying to figure out how to download the WKL TV app or whatever it is, so I can watch it on Lex
Yeah.
18.
I took my oldest with me, and don't be wrong, we stood outside forever, and it was hot as shit, but it was so worth it though. Like it was. Yeah, Carlton, it was magical, wasn't it? It was crazy. Like it was
Yep.
crazy.
I forgot to throw out there the 6 for 6 3-point performance from Mott Butler. That's another great memory
Against
from
Louisville.
this year
Yeah.
beating Louisville. But yeah, so beating Duke, we were doing the watch along, and I've referenced this is a few times. I think this is why it's my favorite moment. You mentioned taking your oldest to see that Pope event. We were doing the watch along, and the entire 90% of that Duke Kentucky game we were losing, and there was hope, and you were going to have to try to find a way to take some moral victories out of that. And I was watching it with Jay upstairs during the watch long, and then it got to the point where we all of a sudden we took the lead, and we got that last second stop and got
Yeah.
fouled to go to the free throw line, and it was like, you know, he's so excited. I'm watery eyed because I'm like, holy hell! Like we haven't been here in so long. Like this
Yeah.
kid hasn't seen a
Yeah.
win in one of these opening season classic games, and all he has had to deal with is heartbreak. Falling in love with Oscar Shigwe, falling in love with Reed Shepard, Rob Dillingham, just to not even get out of the first weekend. Watching that Reed Shepard, Rob Dillingham, and Tony Reed's team go up 16 against Kansas. Our neighbors at the time were massive KU fans, and then to watch us blow that lead and lose, he's dealt nothing with our heartbreak. To have that like embrace moment with this 8-year-old who is only in love with Kentucky basketball because his dad's is like degenerate who just follows his team because he can't help himself. It's like I have dumped that on him, and then for us to have that moment and to know like, okay, Pope is the dude. Like he got this team. He beat Duke,
Mhm.
John Shire. He beat the guys who are in the Final Four right now. He beat National Player of the Year. Um, that was my favorite moment, and you probably see how amped up I am by talking about it. Like that's what it just means. It meant so much at the beginning of the season to know like we got our dude who takes this shit seriously and knows that
Yeah.
these wins against these other prominent programs mean something to the fan base. Like
Yep.
instant buy-in, just like that. Because, like you said, introducing him and having all that support and saying, I understand the assignment, and having Rick Pitino come out, all that stuff was electric. But if you don't win, it's forgotten about, right? So if you can have that moment and then go win basketball games, yeah, that will be something I hold on to for a long time as a Kentucky
Yeah.
basketball fan.
I don't know if BB's still watching, but he was at the Champions Classic when they beat Duke, and I will forever be jealous that he was there.
Yeah.
Um, like forever be jealous. But um, I don't know. This season was just it was so special. Um, like I the fan base was so hit or miss. Like they were still, I think some still doubted Pope for a long time. But I don't know. It's like I'm sad it's over, but I'm not sad like I was before things ended. You know what I mean? Like I feel like there's a lot of hope for the future.
Yes.
And I think that's why I'm like, I'm ready. Like I'm ready for next season already. I'm ready to go watch some more basketball. Like it's because I'm not like, oh shit, here we go again. Like repeat history over here. It's, oh, let's see what's next. Like,
Yes.
you know what I
No.
mean? Like, that's kind of what it's like.
Yeah. 100%. Like we can, you can be disappointed that it's over, disappointed that we lost to Tennessee, and those
Mhm.
dirtbag fan base is going to run their mouth like that win. Yeah, it ended our season, but guess what? You got to play one more game, and you got absolutely pieced up by 19 by Houston. So congratulations, like whatever. We still it's still 2-1 in the series, and we still own you as a basketball program. But I
They were so
digress.
excited. Like, that was their entire season.
That was their Super Bowl. They didn't even
I'm
care
like,
about getting to a Final Four. It's like and the tweets of like, oh, you all praising Poe for a Sweet 16. Your standards have dropped. Is like, nah, standards haven't dropped. We still expect him to get a banner, but the fact that we hadn't been there in half a decade, yeah, we're going to celebrate it a little bit. We're going to
it's
celebrate
been so
a little bit.
long.
Yeah. But you're right. So I have during Kentucky basketball season, I pretty much live like a college person. Like I'm still in college. All
That
my
doesn't
Kentucky
surprise me
shit.
any.
Wait, that's a shot. I feel like I don't know that I appreciate that.
No, because I mean, because like, I know how you are with UK, and so it doesn't surprise me that you're a college person. Like, you're in your garage 24/7, eating out of your containers with your drinks
Yeah,
and your stuff. Like, yeah,
yeah.
that's a college
So like
person.
I have my Kentucky gear is kind of like it gets worn, it gets washed, it gets laid back out again because I'm just gonna pluck through. I'm just gonna pluck through it. That's how it's gonna
Yeah.
go. So it's just living in the laundry basket after it kind of gets folded up. But after basketball season, there's like, especially in the last like 5 years, there's the ceremonial like putting the shit away, like hanging it all back up, hiding in the back of my closet so I don't have to see it again until next year because I'm all depressed. So like that ceremony is always out of anger. This year, I didn't have to put it away because I'm still excited to talk about it. Like I was disappointed, but like we're still on here talking about how excited we are about the future. So like there was a little bit of disappointment, there was a little bit of sadness, but there wasn't anger
Mhm.
of like we just pissed another season away with all this talent, all this ability. It um, was with round of shots on Sunday, and Buzz Baker was like, Coach Pope squeezed all the juice out of the lemon that he could, and I
Yeah.
agree with it to a certain extent. Of like, damn, if we were healthy, we probably got there's a lot more juice to be had. But you're right. At the end of the day, with what he got, and getting these kids to buy in, or these young men to buy in, to the front of the jersey, and having them elevate their play
Mhm.
to what they probably didn't even think that they were capable of. Um, it's
Yeah.
taking Amari Williams to an unknown dude from Drexel to, I think he's got a legit chance of playing in the league. So like,
I think he's a
um,
league guy for sure. I mean, he can't shoot like a lot of the bigs can shoot and stuff, but his passing ability is so good.
I, the way I look at it is if there's room in the league for Zach Edey, and this is no knock on Zach Edey, but if there's room in the league for him, there's room in the league for Amari because like they are two massive human beings, and Amari I think is better at all his all around game, maybe not his post game, but like his ability to you can't shoot the ball, but he can get to the rim.
Yeah.
His ability to pass the ball, and he's not your traditional stretch five like you say because he can't shoot, but he can work from the top of the key. He can kind of
Yeah.
facilitate the offense. You can still play a 4 out with Amari, which is still an NBA type system, but.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, it's okay. There we go. I need a March to the Lakers. No, don't. I can't. Carlton, I cannot have. I can't do it. Like I could not cheer for Anthony Davis for years because he was a Laker. Now that he's with the Mavs, I can support my guy again. But I can't cheer. Kobe Lakers I could cheer for. LeBron Lakers could not.
Yeah. Against, yeah. The thing with this team this year is if they didn't have a lot of assists, they typically didn't win games. Um, for the most part, and I feel like Tennessee did a good job of sort of taking us out of our offense a lot in that last game. But I'm still hell yeah with the season. Dawn, yeah, this team was very special. Like, I love them. I love
Yeah.
them.
The shitty thing about the Tennessee game is if we didn't play great in the second half, but we still outplayed Tennessee. If we put that half, like if we play the game like we did the second half,
we would
it's
have
a
won.
close game, and we potentially win that. It comes down to who can make a buck at the end of the game, and between the two teams, Kentucky's more likely to be able to make that bucket.
Yeah.
Just offensively, they're better. Um, but I thought we had put the Ole Miss, Gonzaga, Vanderbilt, Georgia first halves behind us, especially after Ole Miss when Pope was out there breaking shit. But unfortunately, the team just came out flat. Berea hit that first three all up in Chaz Lanier's or Meshack's face, whoever was guarding him. And I said, oh boy, this is going to be a long day for Volunteer fans. And then he missed every other shot after that. So it's like,
Yeah.
and a lot of those shots were forced. They were not good shots. Like you said, they kept
Yeah.
us out of the offense. And even as bad as we shot, if we don't give up 9 offensive rebounds, we cut
We
that
probably
to 4 or 5. It's still under 10-point game, and we are talking at our halftime show. Isn't like trying to figure out how we can muster courage to say we're going to come back. It's like no, we're still in this game. We're good. So that's what's I think most disappointing is we
yeah.
just when seemed like we were clicking, playing our best ball, we came out against Tennessee playing start one of the worst halves we'd had all year. So. But it's not going to take away all the positives from the season, and watching Tennessee get smacked around against Houston certainly helped that as
To
well.
be
So
fair, though, I think that would have been us against Houston too.
yeah, so I thought about that, and if Houston would have had to play us differently though, because they played Tennessee like we played Tennessee the first 2 games, where it was we're going to let them shoot 3 balls all. I mean, they were 1 for 15 from 3 in the first half. If Houston would have played us the same way and they would have switched on everything and clogged the paint up and really cut off the drive and given us open shots, we would have won that. I think we would have at least been in that game. It would not have been a 20-point ball game, but then I was thinking like Houston defensively, they're so good that not how they're going to guard us. They're gonna run us off the 3-point line and they're gonna out physical
Mhm.
us. So yeah, I agree. It probably would have been a tough game. Now, if we figure out a way to beat Tennessee, do we have enough film to know how to also beat Houston because they're going to play similar? Who knows? But yeah, I mean, it was
Houston's
Lamont
just
Butler carried us. Yeah, Lamont Butler carried us in that game. That another thing that hurt about that loss was like the dude went out on his shield, man. The guy who had been there before, Lamarche tried to keep us in that game as best
he
he
hurt
could.
himself again in
I
the
know. I
game.
saw that. I watched that live when he got hit on that screen, and you could see like and what was most impressive, it was like the Kerr moment when he broke his foot, except he didn't come out of the game and he got a stop. It was like you could see him like instant, like, holy shit, that hurt, but
Yeah.
fight through it and get a stop and I'm back on my man. Like that dude's a dog, man. He's like
He's
legit
he's
warrior,
legit
which
built
is,
different. Like
yeah,
it's
which again goes back to why he was my favorite player on this team, and he'll be on my Mount Rushmore of Kentucky favorites for sure.
he's special. I mean, it's I saw that and I felt like I don't know. I felt like some of the screens were on purpose more so with him, but maybe I'm wrong. Um,
Well,
he seemed,
I think that came out
they
from
seem a little targeted on his shoulder.
so that came out from a Tennessee media guy who was in the locker room. Now you can't really who knows how much is true, but it came out on Twitter that was like the coaching staff was saying, hey, when you set screens against Lamar, like I don't want him to come out in the second half. Like I want him to feel every screen. And as a Kentucky fan, you hate that. I'm gonna be honest. If I was in the Tennessee locker room, I probably would have said the same damn thing, right?
That's
Just
bush
being
league
honest.
shit.
Like
You don't want to try to hurt somebody though, Randall. That's the
I'm not
problem.
saying try to hurt somebody, but it's like, hey, make him feel you, right? I mean, that's just maybe that's a football player in me, but like that's
There might be a
just
football player in you because I don't. There's no room for that shit on basketball court. Like
uh,
it's it. Um.
it's like he was that Aztec media guy who we had on our show
Mhm.
said like this dude is like Kobe Bryant. With the way he trains, the way he is, like his attention to detail to the game, he is Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant sat Pau Gasol down in the Olympics, right? That was not a basketball play, but he was setting the
I
tone.
know
Like he
he did.
set that boy down. So I think again, I think there's room for it, but if I also would have liked to have seen someone on our coaching staff see that play. Like I'd have put Ansley in there and be like, hey dog,
Make
go
him
ahead,
happen, my guy.
yeah,
The thing with
go ahead and get teed up and drop him. But again,
the
that's
thing
why
with Kobe was he
I'm
did
not coaching.
himself. That wasn't the coach telling him that. That's the difference. Like if a player decides to do
Yeah,
it and like, hey, I'm making a statement, that's different. But when a coach is like, hey, do this, that's a little different. That's just a little bit different.
yeah, I'll buy that. I'll buy it.
That's my only thing.
Um,
It's the coaching staff, but
did I
whatever.
ask you who your favorite cat was this year? What?
You didn't, and I don't know. Um, I love them all. I love them all. Um, my dogs are barking. I love this for me. Um, you know
What kind of
what?
dog is it?
I don't know. She's a mutt. I have no idea. Rescue her. Her name is Penny, and she is a terrorist. Uh, favorite. Okay, can I categorize them into my favorites?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because like I can't pick just one. Okay. Kerr, my favorite psycho. I love him. Loved him. He is an idiot in the best of ways, and I mean that with all the love in the world. I adore him. Um, honestly, I feel like Amari, is like one of my favorite players this season, and like because you can see the personal growth he went through, right? You can see all of that he went through, but also just because the fact that that big giant Paddington bear was like, "Hey, I love you guys." Like, dude, who doesn't love that? Who doesn't love that when, Paddington Bear is like, "Hey, I love you. I love you." I'm like, "We love you too." Like, you know what I mean? Like, who doesn't love that? Yeah, I don't know. And I feel like
We need one more or one less viewer right now. You see this number?
what? Ew. Make it stop.
We need one more or one less viewer at the moment.
Someone get in here or get out. I don't know which one, but
uh, um, that's bad juju. That's your fault. I'm gonna put that on you. You said I live
that's
like a college
why is
kid.
it
I'm
my
gonna, I'm
fault?
putting that. Oh, there we go.
Why?
669. That's better. That's better. All right.
What the fuck
um,
is it my fault?
yeah, Paddington Bear. I that was a great story saying that he loved the team and whatnot. I do wish we had got a little bit less Paddington Bear at times. Um, when we got Killer Amari, we were a different team. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, we were. But here's the thing with Killer Amari, okay?
okay.
And get me wrong, I love Paddington Bear. He will forever be Paddington Bear. Okay, I'll call him PB for short. With his Weetabix. um, sometimes though, Killa Amari tried to do too much. Like he tried to do too much. Um, but sometimes when he's the only one scoring in a game, I get it. Like you just keep that train rolling. But
Yeah,
when turnovers start happening and stuff, like it's like, okay, boo, let's take 3 steps back a little bit. Let's go back to you passing the ball some, and then go back in and try again. But
yep. All right. So
who was your favorite?
Lamont, yeah, Lamont
Hands
Butler.
down.
Yeah, just like there, I can go through and tell you how much I enjoyed all the players, but like Lamont
Yeah.
Butler was the dude who I feel like yeah, Ortega's good. I think I don't list Ortega because he's coming back next year. Knock on wood. We'll see more time of him.
Well, you better
Um,
knock a lot of wood drinks that shit. I swear.
I'm I'm knocking on all of it. I don't see how he goes anywhere outside the NBA. We can't let him go.
I don't think Pope would
And
either. I don't think Pope let him go.
yeah, and the way they seem to have a very special relationship.
Mhm.
Talking about people who go like Kerr leaving, I think that probably was a mutual thing. But like BG leaving, if he does, I don't think it's gonna be an easy decision just because Pope just seems to connect with all these guys, right? So, which
Yeah.
which in a in an era where it's basically free agency for these college kids. Like Aaron Bradshaw going to his third team in 3 years. Like Z's
What
going
about
to his
Michi
third team.
Johnson? Michi and his go back and forth between Ohio and South Carolina. Boy, make a mind up. Come on, they're both exes.
Yeah.
We just keep back and forth.
Yeah. And people willing to take them and leave, and it's crazy. So if you can connect with the player and you can, yes, it's a business, but if you can to make it like right now, college basketball, college athletics is just transactional, right? It's like, hey, what can you give me? This is what I can give you. This is how much it's going to cost. I'll come to your team.
Yeah.
If it can actually be, if there's some emotional like aspects of intimacy behind it instead of just transactional, I think that's
Yeah.
big. And Coach Pope seems to be doing that, and the staff seems to be doing that. So I don't think it's ever going to be an easy choice for these players to go outside of it didn't mesh. I don't see any of these players that just didn't mesh with Pope.
Then the thing too is they all genuinely seem to love him and the staff, and obviously he loves those guys. The video of after the game of him being upset and Lamont comforting him, and the picture that came out after that is when I cried. I didn't cry when the game ended. I didn't cry during the game.
Which
I
picture?
cried.
I'm sorry, which picture?
The picture of
Him and
where
of
Pope.
Lamont and Pope. Okay,
Yes. And
yeah.
then the video leading up to that where Pope was upset, like visibly upset. Lamont came up and like was comforting the coach.
Yeah.
Like that one, oh, I bawled like a little baby.
Well, we talked about it on the Round of Shots show. Was like, when is a player that you can remember? I can't. At the end of a press conference, go, hold on a second. Like, I gotta say something. I gotta shout out my coach because he's been through it. I have to say, hey, like what he did this year is special, and I'm so proud that we were, especially in that moment, to have just come off a loss, to be a dude who was on a Final Four team, so to come up, 2 games short, and to still have the perspective and the drive, the emotional connection to be like, hey, this dude right here to my left is like special, and I'm so happy that I got to end my career being coached by him. I don't remember that ever happening.
Well, and then Carr said, "Hey, if you're gonna go to Kentucky, like go to Kentucky. Like this is a no-brainer." And I think that it speaks volume, and the way they handled it as well, right? So we've seen guys after season ending make some really bad comments, a la Andrew Harrison, or just not engage with the meetings. They're upset, and I understand being upset and respectable, whatever, but the fact that those guys are obviously hurting and they're still like, hey, like this is where you need to go. And this like Pope is special. That just speaks to the love that's been poured into them too. Like they know that he's supporting them no matter what.
Yeah.
And I would run through 50 11 brick walls for Coach Pope. 50 11.
I'm with you.
Line them up. Let's go.
The dude is special, and I only see him taking this program to great places. And all right, so portal season. We've jumped in and out between portaling and this season, but is there a guy like you got your finger on that you really want to see in blue and white next year, or are you just kind of, hey, I'll let the portal come to me as it goes and let the coaching staff kind of figure it out?
Anybody right now, it's Yaxel.
Yeah.
I just think I think he'd be a really good piece, and I don't think rebounding would be a question for him. And the way he plays, he would fit in really well, I think, to Pope's offense. I'm also sad about if the rumors are true and we do get Goon, like that man and his blocking ability, it kind of reminds me of like
I cannot wait for a block from Magoon and Goon.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He kind of reminds me of Nerlens Noel though a little bit.
The Goon Squad. Yeah. It's gonna be the Eruption Zone's gonna have a field day with the different.
Memes and gifs that BBN will create from that. But also the Bible Portal is not everyone's in there yet. Like it's going to explode after next weekend too. Like it's going to absolutely explode, and people are like rushing. Oh, we have to this guy, guys. There are probably 200 plus 300, 400 players that aren't even in the portal yet. They were like, shit, we want them. You know what I mean? Like, let's not rush greatness. Let's not rush greatness.
Yeah, so Elijah Freeman, James just brought Elijah Freeman was going to be from JMU. I don't know what's going on with him. He's a bucket type. He's a guard that I think we can use on this team, even though we have some coming in, and he's a big body guy. So who knows what could happen with him? I really like this Valero kid.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, he's one that I think we got to get. Like his ability, he's got a little bit of Carr in him, got a little bit of Amari in him. You know,
Yeah.
can play this back to the basket, can pass well, can shoot. Um, but
Let him cook.
yeah, let him cook. He's back there,
Ryan
Chef
Shits. Let him
Chef
cook.
Curry. Yep. He's
Yeah.
he's back there. I said this. It didn't get the reaction I thought I was going to get. Maybe you have to be a Food Network guy like I am and watch Beat Bobby Flay. But I was like, he's out there cooking something that would beat Bobby Flay, right? Like he's out there getting it, and Bobby Flay's got like an 80% hit rate. All right, so I'm telling you, it's he gonna be all right. But I don't know. I don't know who the guy is. I haven't seen him yet. But we need a big body center. Like
Yeah.
maybe Brandon Garrison can be that dude. Again, maybe he can do like Magoon off season program, um, and put a little beef on him, and be physical as well as being a stretch five. Maybe that's the dude, because almost almost too much so, like almost like put your team in jeopardy. Brandon Garrison got a little dog in him. Like Brandon Garrison got bite in his game,
He's
right? So
about that
like
life. He's about that life.
he will get teed up with a quickness, right? Like he will get teed up, and
He's
he will
like, you say
he
something, let's go. Let's go
yeah
on with the
he might
chest. Whole chest.
yeah he might jeopardize a couple points in a game, but if he can play physical and he just that we had too many big bodies who seem to, I want to say, shy away from contact, but not seek contact, especially on the when going to get a
Yeah.
board. Like put a body on a body, drop that ass down, put it on somebody's hip, and move them out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't happen. A lot of ball watching or hoping that like my size is going to get me this rebound. And we've seen you can have a 6'8", 6'9" dude like Oscar Shigwe, who if he wants the ball more, he gonna get the ball, right?
He's still
So
doing the NBA. That man's
yeah,
unstoppable. It's
yeah.
ridiculous.
So but you know, I think we need another big. Maybe
Yeah.
the staff gets Magoon, Moreno, BG, and they think that and that's a Valero kid. Maybe that's enough to get us done. But I would like to see, even if it's a project piece,
Mm-hmm.
like an enforcer type, like a Somto Sorrell type, where it's just like big body dude who just when he gets on the court, he's a wild card what he's going to do offensively, but he just terrifies you, right? And you don't want to go around him. Like I want to see somebody like that potentially out of the portal. But yeah, if you said Yaxel, I'll say that my biggest get from guys who are identified right now is that Valero kid, and because I think he's going to be very versatile, especially in Pope's offense.
Yeah.
All right,
Some people just.
what's up?
I'm just reading some stuff because I guess Pat Kelsey landed another recruit, and people are losing their ever loving minds about it.
Oh, James talking about Flory. Flory's the kid from Kansas, right? That went out of the portal.
Ryan Conwell from Xavier committed to Louisville.
Should that mean
Conwell
something to
Woolley
me?
and Mikkel Brown. I don't fucking know. I just saying. I don't know who.
Yeah,
But it's more the fact that people are like, oh my god, Post missing on everybody. Y'all, shut up.
yeah,
Stop it.
that's right. What they need to worry about is Cardinal fans need to worry about why Nate Ament decided not to commit today,
Ooh, ooh.
because Arkansas and Kentucky got some money that they're potentially throwing around. Arkansas being the big player, like, hey, we got some cash, and you might want to come out here. So Cardinal fans just might be worry about Nate Ament and his commitment to Louisville.
Yeah. You know what? I'm just I can for one, I cannot keep up with everybody.
Oh,
Two,
there's
two,
1,500 kids in the portal.
it's fucking crazy. And everyone's throwing, I want this guy, I want this guy, I want this guy.
Yeah.
Two, I'm just gonna enjoy the ride. I'm just gonna enjoy the ride. Y'all are nuts. I might tell y'all are dumb sometimes, but it's all right.
I think that's the best way to go about it. I mean, you can see a player get excited. Like when you see folks, not Kentucky folks, like Michigan folks saying that Kentucky's heavily involved in Yaxel and like be on the like
Mhm.
landing him is potential. I get excited about that. Like that one, I'll be, hey, BB, and let's get real loud and show this dude some love so he can come to Kentucky.
Yeah,
But outside everybody else, it's like, just let Pope cook. Uh, we knew Kobe Barea was a dude. We watched Andrew Carr, beat Duke, but outside of that, he kind of quiet in ACC play, came to us, played a big role. You know, did I know Ainsley Almanor was on FDU when they beat Purdue as a 16 seed? Sure didn't. Did I learn who he was after he committed to Kentucky? I
sure
sure did.
did.
Right. So like, those dudes are going to be out there. Like there's going to be a guy out there that Pope goes need him. Not high
Yeah.
rated. Probably doesn't. Never thought he was going to play at Kentucky. Got to have him. Bring him over here. So yeah, I think going for the ride is probably the best answer. But golly, it's hard for us to do. It's hard for us to just sit back and relax.
Well, we're BBN fans or BBN, so yeah, of course it's have you interacted with fan base enough to know like relax is not in the vocabulary for this place. Okay. Like
I know.
not even in the vocabulary. We're like crack fiends on a good day. On
Yep.
a good day. Did you guys see that Aiden Mahaney's in the portal again
Yeah.
from UConn?
No, thank you.
No, I'm not saying I want him. I think
Yeah.
it's interesting.
I wouldn't be surprised if McNeely hits the portal. Like,
I wouldn't either.
I don't know. I don't know if these dudes particularly. I mean, Aiden McHaney went from a dude for St. Mary's. St. Mary's,
And
right?
he's only
Yeah.
averaged like 4 points a game
Four and
at
a half,
UConn.
4.5 points a game. Like went to like dude who is carrying St. Mary's to past Gonzaga and like go to sweet doing deep tournament runs, committing to UConn for a bag, and clearly hating his life.
Yeah.
Playing for that coach. Um, but yeah,
Speaking
thinking
of,
that he was going to
Hurley is.
three-peat.
We dodged a giant bullet that the brink truck did not sway his balls in his wife's purse. Okay, that's all I gotta say.
Yeah,
We are
yeah.
lucky that did not happen because that man would not
We
been
would
in
have
here
been
at
paying
all.
$11 million a year to hate this dude. Hate this dude.
He would have been rolling on the damn. Look, he
You
thinks
can.
refs are bad. Where he's not coming to CC, babe. We'll show you what bad refs actually are. He would have stroked out on the court,
Oh yeah.
like stroked out on the court, dealing with those referees.
Yeah, the first time he told Doug Shows, "I'm the best coach in the country," he'd been like, "All right, dude. Yep. Guess what? You're not winning another game with that I'm
Oh,
reffing."
did
So,
he?
say what?
I mean, I thought. Oh, the draft. Okay, okay. I was like, what?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he would have stroked out on the court dealing
Oh
with
yeah,
his
yeah,
nonsense.
yeah.
Like, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Who do you want from the portal, Rando?
Avalero.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the one guy I want to get.
he's
Yeah,
from.
I mean outside of Yaxel. Um,
Where is he from?
he's a Colonial. Hold on, I'll tell you. I'm looking at his jersey in my head right now. Robert Morris,
That name.
originally from España.
España. España. Robert
Yep.
Morris. Good old NIT loss. It's okay though. We didn't have Nerlens because that was a not great year.
Oh, Sia Blue just dropped an article 2 hours ago. I don't know if it's free though. Oh, it is. So if you want to go, there's a whole thing about him potentially landing.
Okay, Torrey Honey.
Yep. Okay. So I think we talked. You got any other portal news? You want to talk about portal news, season recap, anything like that?
Except I love this team, and I miss
Yep.
you already.
Yep.
And Kobe Bryant's little heart hands, I will forever miss his little heart hands.
Fuego.
Fuego is fuego. Um, I don't know. I love this team. Like
I love it too. I have purchased a jersey of all of these transfers,
I
and
thought, yeah, no,
yeah, I got them
yeah.
all. I got them all. And I just spent money on eBay to buy the Kroger season poster with
Mm-hmm.
all of them on there. And I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I need to get all these dudes to sign either the poster or the jersey, probably the poster. And I'm going to it's going to be stupid, the cost of this thing. But I want to get all of them just in one big frame, laid out, and like this be like Pope's inaugural year. I reached
Yeah.
out
It could be your
to
back.
someone
It
who,
could be your backdrop for your
yeah, like
for these.
yes, I'll probably be paying for the cost of this thing until I retire, or still start collecting like AARP benefits. But it'll be worth it because I
Your
want to remember this team,
benefit.
and I want to remember this team, and I want to have that. I know someone who was at the open practice at the beginning of the season has a ball signed by all the players. I'm trying to buy that off them, even though I think they want a hefty price tag for that thing, but trying to figure it out. James Kobe Bryant, yeah, that's Jay Man's my son's favorite player. Um,
Heart hands for Kobe.
I appreciate it. Thanks, TV Bargo Nation. Look at that. Rando finally gets a shout out. Normally it's Salena gets shouts out.
I don't get shout outs. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? What was the
Get
last
shout
comment
out.
that you got? Someone, oh, Selena's, you're someone with thirst trap and you're behind.
Well, that's not a shout out. That's a thirst. That's a thirst boy. I'm just telling you.
I take it. I take it. I haven't gotten a rando sexy one time in this comment chat. I feel a certain way about it. All right.
Someone make him feel better. Let him know. Come on, make him feel better.
I don't want pity now. I don't want the pity comments now. All right. So before we close this out, we got to talk about with the women's basketball.
God.
We have to.
Rando.
What in the hell is Kenny Brooks doing? I don't like it at all. At all. I don't know Cassie DeRoe one lick outside of her in a Kentucky jersey. But I feel like this was a bad move from a good coach.
She wasn't the only one.
Who else?
Taylor was also, the same thing was done to Taylor. It was not just because she was like, that's the thing is,
is Taylor going to go play for another school?
I don't know. But Cassie is also starting her PT program. She graduated in December.
I know.
So but that's one thing is it wasn't just her that this happened to, right?
Okay.
Brooks's daughter is a walk-on. She doesn't have a scholarship, so people can stop complaining about school. Well, of course not. Why would you? That's a coach. Why would you pay? But so I'm saying that she's not taking a
scholarship player. But we got 15 of them, right?
Do we have 15 yet? Or is it? Or maybe I don't know.
What, 13 right now? 13?
I don't know. But does it suck because Cassidy was bleed blue, day she dies, ride or die? Like, yes, that absolutely sucks. Especially the way it was done, especially because her dad said, hey, like, we had no idea this was happening. It was just, but we cannot have starters playing 40 plus minutes a game like Georgia played this year. So, and I also understand that we were missing two people that got hurt, Obi and some other person that could have been starters even or went off the bench. And I know they were hurt, whatever. I get that. But if you're going to compete in the SEC and you're going to try to reach the pinnacle and go further, even further, like not lose the second week, the first weekend, whatever, you can't have your starters playing 40 minutes and you can't have production drop off. Starter goes out like the difference when I know not everyone's Georgia. I get it. Now, I understand the thought process behind, hey, we need to make room. I think it was too soon, way too soon. And I think it was done incorrectly, 1,000% handled very wrong. But I also see from his point of view and the program's point of view, kind of how that was playing out. You know what I mean? I see both sides. So I don't know if you agree with it, but I see both sides.
Yeah, so I see it. I see well, you know what? I don't see it because Cassie Rowe being the 13th or 15th person on the squad is not going to win or lose us ball games.
Yeah.
I have a tough time believing that. And we talked about this on Sunday, and Buzz Baker was talking about it, and he was like, "Listen, Kenny Brooks is a coach. Like he's got to do he's got to make decisions as a coach. And at the end of the day, this is the decision. It's no tradition to have a Kentucky girl on the Kentucky women's basketball team, and
Right.
I understand that. I just admitted that I'm maybe looking at this from a perspective of not just like basketball being a business or basketball as a fully Kentucky fan. I'm looking at it as like hearing her mom Cassie's mom and dad come out and talk about it, and like the close family friends talk about it. Is like it breaks your heart knowing like this girl has
Mm-hmm.
given a bunch to this team. She's not going to have a senior night. She's not. It's like she isn't in Kenny Brooks's ear saying like, "Hey, dude, you better play me some more minutes or I'm leaving." She's like, "Nah, I'll be in my role, right?"
Yeah.
So like even I feel like there was a way, and you said it wasn't handled correctly, so we agree there. But like even if there was a way, like, hey, Kentucky, give her a scholarship for her PT program. She's not paying for school. We're just going to put her on the
Yeah.
end of the bench so you can be part of the team, rock a jersey, that sort of thing. Essentially doing what Gabby's doing. And this is, and I've said this before, I don't want to take any shots. Gabby should be on the team. If I was coaching
Mm-hmm.
Kentucky and I have a daughter and she wanted to ball and I could watch my daughter play and practice and she wanted to be at Kentucky, I would put her on the team. Like
Right.
I'm not saying that's the wrong thing to do. In business, nepotism is a thing, and if I was a coach, I would also have my daughter on the
Mm-hmm.
squad. But I think you could have found a role like that for Cassidy too. That's my 2 cents. I didn't like the optics. I will support Kenny Brooks. I think he's a great coach. This is a small blip on the radar of like the greatness he's bringing to Kentucky women's basketball.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just when I heard, I didn't believe it. Like I heard it in these chats of like what happened. I was like, wait, hold on. He literally just played her at the end of a NCAA tournament game. There's no way he's doing this. And then it came out to be true. I was like, man, I don't like it at all.
Yeah. I don't agree with how it was handled. And I do agree that there is space for her, unless he's going to absolutely kill it. I have no idea what the plans are, obviously. Right. But at the end of the day, though, college basketball has changed so much. But can we talk about the fact that the same people, or lots of people that are upset about Cassidy, are telling Pope to have a talk with Travis Perry that he's a transfer? Like that, the irony
Those
is
people are stupid.
the
Those people
irony
are
is
dumb.
not lost, y'all. Like
I have been in group chats, and if
that's
you're
literally the
watching
same
right
thing.
now, well, it's not. It is the same thing, but it's also just like, and if people who are in the group chats, they can jump in the chat here because like this is a safe place. The Travis Perry hate, I don't understand. I don't
I don't
understand.
either.
He is 19 years old. If you tell me that Travis Perry isn't going to get faster, stronger, his basketball IQ isn't going to go up, that he can't play in the SEC right now because we're watching a 19-year-old kid try to figure it out, I think you're dumb because your body he can get faster. His ability to move laterally and understand the game, you go look at Zakai Ziegler's numbers in his first 2 years at Tennessee
Mm-hmm.
to what he turned out to be for. And guess what? Travis Perry has a bigger body. He was more of a elite basketball player in high school. So miss me with all the nonsense. Travis Perry can't play in the SEC. Now, does he
Yeah.
need to get better? Yes.
Yes.
Does he need to cut his hair? Yes. Like there's things that he needs to change about himself, but don't tell me he can't play in the
Why the
SEC.
hair hate, Rando?
It's terrible. It's bad. That the mop the thing on his head, that's bad. Like
Jacob,
Mama
that's
Perry
true.
needs what's up?
That's true. Travis is
Oh
not
yeah,
a
right.
point guard. He's a shooting
Yeah,
guard.
no, he's a two
He'd
guard.
be
He's a
coming
two
off
guard, right.
screens. He needs to be hunting a shot. He's not a point guard. So people, again, I have to. You know what? I've tweeted it before. I'll leave it out there.
Yeah,
Um,
no, it's
yeah.
silly. It's absolutely silly.
I just find the people mad about Cassidy saying that, or I don't think they know what they're saying, but it's okay.
Yeah, and the other piece of it is like Travis Perry. No knock on Cassie, but Travis Perry gave us meaningful minutes this year, like meaningful minutes, and
Mm-hmm.
and he wasn't really supposed to, right? Like, the idea was not to have Travis Perry come play point guard for Kentucky with Lamont and Kerr going out. It was maybe he gets some minutes in non-conference games when we're playing, who the hell ever, Marshall or whatever. But it's like, it's yeah, him starting a game against Tennessee, not probably not what the staff thought Travis Perry was going to do. And he did it, and we won that ball game. So like, I will support him now. If we get into his junior year and he's still like struggling, okay, buddy, maybe you weren't built for this, but we ain't there yet, and
No.
that's years and minutes off.
Did you imagine though? Because I know Pope told Trent to put about 15 pounds of muscle on.
Put on 15 pounds of muscle. I mean, he's still young, so I guess that's possible.
15 to 20 pounds of muscle. I don't know. Trent's different though. He's different.
Yeah, I mean, he's already a big boy. I mean, you see the quads in this guy.
Yeah.
I think he has the frame. 15, 20 pounds of muscle. That's a lot, though. That's, I mean, in a year in
That's what
off
Pope
season.
said. Well, I don't think he said
That's
just in the off season. I think it's the next 2 or 3 years. By the time he's like a junior,
oh,
senior,
okay.
to put that on there. That's more doable.
Yeah.
That's like 5 pounds an off season or whatever, and then you're rocking a little bit.
Or when they're not testing you in the off season, you incorporate a little bit of science into that diet, and then you get a little puffed up real quick.
Rando,
I'm not saying I don't.
Not encouraging this. What are we doing?
I'm not encouraging it. I'm just saying it's an option. I'm just saying, hey,
It's
there's
not an
all
option.
things out there. It is an option. I'm not saying to do it or not do it. I'm just saying science exists. So if you want to use it, you should do it.
Rando, oh God.
Oh
Shit,
God.
you just woo.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Fucking science exists.
Science exists. I think, What did Jacob say?
Okay.
We managed to keep Travis
Okay.
to his senior year. He's going to be nasty and all the hitters. I agree. Yeah.
Oh, I agree with
Colin
you.
Chandler.
Colin Chandler is going to be so good. We saw it like this end of the season. We saw him like comfortable again on the court, and that boy, he don't know what the 3-point line is. He's half court chucking up threes. Like he just ridiculous.
The step back three he made in the Tennessee game before half, and then he looked at Otega Owe and goes, "You like that? Did you like that?" And I think he unfortunately didn't get enough minutes in the second half. Like he was going to be potentially the spark that would have got us done. Pope leaned on the rotation shrunk a lot in that second half, which we've been begging for all year. So I'm not going to sit here and harp on it. But yeah, he would have been the dude that potentially, after that shot in the second half, you just like, hey, Colin, let's see if you can just go cook, dude. Like no one's expecting you to go drop 15. Maybe you do that and we win this game.
He's going to be so good.
He's another one who can, he can get back in shape and some physicality. He'll be good.
He'll be a big old, he'll be married. He's getting married in May, I think, right?
I don't know if the Mormon getting married is good for his mentals or bad.
Why?
I mean,
Why?
he's gonna get a taste. He's gonna get a taste for the first time, and I don't know where his mind's gonna be at.
You know what? He's got plenty of time to get it out of his system by the off season. Okay.
Well, you hope so. You hope so.
He's like, he
When
gonna
is
get a
that?
taste. I'm like, hey,
Yeah, it's
look at Richie. Yo, Richie,
that's true. That's a good point. That's a good point.
Richie
Richie went
Saunders,
from
my guy.
yeah.
Come here. Come back. Just come play for Pope. You are.
Look at the explosion
You
of
know,
performance.
I am going
Explosion
to
being a
keep
key
my.
word.
Stop. I was gonna say. I was gonna say that. I was like, my mind. I need to be quiet because I am gonna be a degenerate, and this is not okay.
Hey, that's a good point though. Maybe I mean we go from I don't know what the but if once he
It's
gets
like a.
married, do we
Hey,
change? Do we change
it's like a
Colin Chandler's
reward.
name?
It's like a
Yeah.
reward.
Oh, she holds it out in front of him. You better drop 20 or it ain't happening. Ain't happening. Oh my god.
Oh,
Do we change his nickname? Do we change his nickname from Super Soaker though? Since
Don't. That they hate that, Rando. Stop it.
I don't care if they hate it. He's dropping buckets ever since it happened. So like he got
I don't care. Pope doesn't like it, and we respect Pope. Damn it.
whatever. Him acting like it ain't a thing though. Like that's happening. Okay, and all over Provo, the super soaking is happening.
This has
uh,
took a turn, y'all. I hope all holy shit, there's so many of you are laughing
yeah,
with us because
yes,
this is
we hope so. Or they're
ridiculous.
recording it, going this. We're reporting this show.
That's what's gonna be. They're like, yo, that took a
Yeah.
non PG.
This was never the PG version. All right,
You
PG
know, it
version is
wasn't,
the
but
Rando and Jay show. That's we have to keep that one PG. This one,
usually
we
because I'm
start off
dropping
with the
F bombs
porn.
every 5 minutes, but like now we're talking about Mormon sex life, and I don't know what happened there, but here we are.
We just, I mean, we were honestly, we're not. We're just talking about like factual things. This is biblical, I think. Actually, is what we're talking about.
Biblical.
It happens. You have to. You can't do certain things. Then you find your forever lover, and then you get married, and
Jacob,
then
what
you
did you
can.
start?
Get to the
That's the thing, Jacob, is like not everyone's in the
yeah.
portal yet. Like people are losing their minds over the little trickle we have in there. Like y'all chill. There's more. I promise.
Which is why I'm not concerned with some of these guys who have, if so, Great Osabor
Mm-hmm.
is a great example, right? He was Latter Day Shay. That is a good one. That's a good one. Um, and I think Mormon Mamba actually is probably the better fit than Mountain Mamba, but I can't take Mountain Mamba from Trentno at this point. So we're gonna have to figure maybe something out, or we just say we got two Mambas on the team. Maybe
Call
that's
him
what we do.
Eminem.
Eminem.
He does have blonde
I
hair.
created a monster. There's no
He does
one that
have
wants
blonde
to see
hair.
Marshall anymore. They want Shady Yum Chop Liver.
And chopped liver.
Uh, Golly, what was I just saying? Oh, Great
Now
Osabar.
I'm singing
So
Eminem.
like
Damn.
he was a lock to Kentucky, right? He was a lock to Kentucky, and then Washington said, "Hey, here's a bunch of money. You can
Yeah.
come over to us and be the center point of our team." And Pope didn't want to match that money or couldn't match that money. Whatever argument that you want to say based off the NIL at the time. But Great Osabar went to Washington and played very well on a shit team, right? He put up numbers and his team
Mm-hmm.
sucked.
Mm-hmm.
So if, oh God, I'm blanking on the guard that went to UCLA, um, if he wants to go to UCLA and go to a team that's not going to perform very well historically, like Cronin is like underperforms consistently, but they're going to give him a bunch of money. You can't just go again. We talked about this. You can't just go throw money at it and okay, we'll match it because it just takes away from everybody else. Dent, thank you. So Dent made the choice. He's going to get paid a lot of money. He's going to be the
Mm-hmm.
spotlight. Maybe he puts up big numbers. But do we think all of a sudden UCLA becomes a powerhouse now and they go back to their
Well,
blue
isn't
blood
their big guy
prominence?
leaving too,
No.
though?
Yeah, they're missing. Their UCLA's missing losing a bunch of people and they had a decent season this year, but they again. I would have been a massive piece to get for yes, just like Great Osabar would have been awesome in Kentucky. But if he's going to go and he's thinking short term, get a bunch of money now, and I'm just looking to get to the next level, then I'm not going to sit there and blow up Pope for not matching the bag when you can go and be like, okay, we can use that money to get a player who's very good and also another player that's going to give us some depth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, over under Barnes retires. I don't know.
I think he's
That
done. I
that
think he's done. I think he's done.
so I didn't think he was going to be done until I really started listening to how the players were talking
Mm-hmm.
during the tournament this year, and then I was like, man, he might be hanging it up. He might be done. Um, which honestly, I think makes me more nervous to him coming back because I think we have seen Rick Barnes basketball and he's a great coach, but
Mm-hmm.
he is limited. Like he just, Tennessee might Tennessee might do something dangerous if Rick Barnes retires,
Who are they
and
gonna
that
get?
makes me a little bit nervous. I don't know. I don't know the name off the top of my head, so I'm just like he is. Um, he said God will tell me when he's done. Okay, well, let's see.
The players acted like they were doing it for him this year versus
Yeah. And
for
maybe that was
themselves. Or
because most of that team had been there for 4 years. Gainey been there for 2, Z
yeah,
been there 4, Meshack there 4. So maybe that was it. Um, but um, yeah, I don't know, but I think they do. He's not paid that high either. Chris Beard.
apparently, Mackenzie. I can't pronounce her last name. I'm gonna try. We'll taking a visit tomorrow to Kentucky.
The kid from Indiana,
Mm-hmm.
McBako, or how do you say his
Bako.
name?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a big body dude that we could use. But I
That
think
Jaron
I
Pierre
wonder.
guy is nice too, though.
Let me look him up because does he play?
He's a guard. Yo, that was the highlights are nasty. He's a big
Yeah,
body
so
dude too, though.
he's a big body guard. Kind of go get a bucket. I don't know how I was going to look, but I don't know how he shoots. I don't know his shooting ability. Um,
Looks good in this video.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look at his defense. It's the other things. I don't know how we replace Lamont Butler defensively either. I think we have
I
to
don't
go.
know if we can.
Yeah, I agree. I was going to say. I think we have to go and
Well,
get a bunch of dudes who can play defense and like try to play connected collectively, very good defense, and not have to rely on just. But you do still need a point of attack defender, and so we need like a point guard who can be on that dude.
what about Colin though? Colin's potential to be another Lamont Butler.
Yeah,
I mean, think about the defense he like. So think about the defense he played on linear at Tennessee. Think about that. Like
yeah,
he's athletic enough. I think he's not as big bodied as Lamont is. He's not built like a running back, but I think he's quick enough and athletic enough to take over that role if he works on it. Right? If he works on his defense, of course. Like because defense is 100% effort all the time.
yeah. Well,
But
well, I think you said it best. We'll just go along for the ride. These guys will come
yeah.
visit. Pope will Pope will isolate who he wants. Jordan came on the show, former player for Pope at Utah Valley State, and he was the guy who was like, "Listen, Pope wants Brea, right? Wants Brea.
Mm-hmm.
He wants Lamont Butler, and he absolutely wants Jackson Robinson.
Yep.
Jackson Robinson came back. He signed and he got Barea and Lamont in the portal. So like
Mm-hmm.
he was like, take it to the bank. These dudes that I know for a fact Pope wants, he's gonna make sure it happens. So
Yeah.
let Pope get in the books, do the spreadsheets, all the Excel stuff. Devin Askew's available. Yeah. Uh,
That kid needs
that
to
was one of the good
retire.
April Fools. God, yeah. That was a good April Fool's Day of Askew back in the Kentucky one. Um, but yeah, the let him figure out who he wants to go get, and then boom,
Someone
someone
kicked
can
James.
uh, all right. Well, I think that about wraps it up. I didn't think we had 90 minutes in us, but
Damn, that went
between
by fast, actually.
the season recap, portal season, you getting on your Mormonism kick, that was
I
100%
just
not 100% not induced by me. I'm not taking any credit for that one.
Jacob over there starting an
Yeah,
SFW chat over here.
that's right. But let him let Pope do business and know that our coach got us, man. Like the dude loves Kentucky ball
Yeah.
just as much as we do, just as much as we do. So
Hmm.
yeah, I got faith that he's not going to let us down in the offseason, not going to let us down as we kick in the season. I think we're going to see a lot of things change next year um, based off of, like I said, some of the data that he collected
Hmm.
and the staff collected this year. And man, sky's the limit next year. Better be on
Yeah.
notice. Better be on notice next year because the SEC, a lot of these teams, Auburn,
They're
right?
a lot of
Auburn,
seniors and stuff.
yep, gone. Florida, these dudes are going to the league, gone. Tennessee, their guys are gone. Um, even the
Oh,
guys who carried, Oklahoma and Texas, like these dudes are going to be
Spears
going to the
and
league. So
what's the guy's name?
Johnson,
Johnson. Yeah, Trey Johnson or
yeah,
whatever. Yeah, gone.
yep,
Only about Auburn is if you're unless you're Chad Baker Mazara, then you're coming back for your 1,000th year of college or some shit. I don't know.
yeah. And Bruce Pearl will do well in the portal. He's going to do
Yeah,
well
he
in the
will.
portal.
Yeah,
So,
he will.
um, but those guys like Janai Broom was good, and
Hmm.
Buzz Baker had a good point. It's like I know we had Oscar Sheway and Lance Ware on the team at the time, but how in the world did Kentucky let Janai Broom get out of the state? He was over there chilling at Murray, just and found his way to Auburn, National Player of the Year. It's like
Yeah.
my goodness, had that happen?
But I mean, to be fair, though, that surprised me because Cal very rarely ever kept to guys that were in state or even played in state from other places. Like
Yeah,
very rarely did that ever happen.
and like I said, we talked about it. I was like, it was like getting Oscar back was big. Lance Ware was on the team already, so we like our front court was set. But it's like, man, you potentially could have snatched him up. And if he was in state and really wanted to play, he's a Florida boy, so it's like I don't know how tied into Kentucky basketball he is, but I'm sure he was watching it while he was here and saw the
Yeah.
draw. I bet his campus was full of like blue and white just because it's of where it's located. So.
Yeah.
Um, him getting out of the state was that stinks because um, he's an anchor for a team. He's a guy you build around. But yeah, let's see what the portal brings us. I'm sure we'll get on here in a week or so, and we'll talk about how we're building this team.
Yeah.
Get some. We got to get the BBN Ladies Unleashed on the show. Maybe get
Ladies, if
BB on
you're
the
watching,
show.
please join us.
Come on, we got to go
Please join
talk about
us.
this because we're not just it's not just one portal off season, right? It's all about the women's team too.
Hmm.
Um, Morehead State. I was thinking Murray State. You're right. Yeah,
And
Morehead State.
Slim said tweeted earlier that UK is going to get a person. UK women's is getting somebody. So I'm curious who that is.
Nice.
The Slim
Nice.
Milky whatever. So
Yeah.
it's just Trilly's female version, but
Well,
he
bring it
tweeted
on.
out
Bring it on.
the
You have an extra
Ashley.
roster spot, Kenny, so you better fill it. All right.
We have two actually.
Two.
We have two. So.
Did you think what's her face was going to transfer, hit the portal?
Clara?
No, not Clara.
The other Clara? They're both
Oh,
Claras.
yeah.
I didn't, but it also makes sense because Strack's still here, right? So she's still here. And then the two there I think there's another big on the bench as well that was hurt all year. Maybe Obi. Um So I could be wrong about that. I think, but there were two people that hurt that could have been starters that didn't play because they were hurt this year. So it makes sense though, because I mean, if they're back and Clara Strack's still here, and Tiani Key is also still here, she's not going to get playing time even at 6'7". So it makes sense. Now, was it? It was really fast. Like it was. She
Yeah.
already committed TCU, but it makes sense. So.
Yep. Well, we'll see how it goes. I'm sure we'll eventually have to break our rule and talk football. Spring's coming up.
Give me time.
I know. Do you see who I was chilling with yesterday?
Yes, I did.
Yes, Stevie Johnson out here. I mean, he was, dude, he was so nice to me. Like he did not need to be nice to me like he was. He was so chill. Like talked to me for a long time. He was like, I walked up to him and I was in my Kentucky gear, and Roy hooked us up and was like, "Hey, he's out there doing this indoor football league thing." So I went and checked out a game. And it was just so cool. I walked up, they were doing a tailgate. He saw, he was like, "Hey, Big Blue, what's going on?" You go, but he brought me over. It was a sweet, it was a real good dap up, like real good dap up. And then, he was like, I was like, "Can I get a picture, send to Roy?" He was like, "Yeah." When you sit there, and then I walked in the stadium, and he came walking by me. Took another like 20 minutes to talk to me and whatnot. He was like, "Hey, we don't have a full roster." I was like, I did. I was like, "Buddy, I don't know. Don't play with me because I will go get on that field and I will hurt myself again, like for sure. Like if you say I'm gonna give you a shot to play, I will take it, and I'm probably gonna end up breaking myself again because that's just naturally how it goes for me."
James, it's too soon. We made a rule. We don't talk about football on this show
Talk
until
about
football
motivated
season.
Stooks.
Okay.
Yeah. Ugh.
I'm just listen. I just want them to be good. I want them to win. I want them to win. That's all I
Yeah.
want. I want them to win the game that they're supposed to win, and maybe a game they're not supposed to win. You know what I mean? That's what I want. That's all. That's all. That's all.
All right. Yeah. That's all. It's all we want. That's all we want. And this is a season, right? I honestly, I think this is well, the last thing I'll say about football season until it's football season is I think this is Stoops' last year. He either goes out as a hero and brings us all the way back, and he sails off, or
Mm-hmm.
he goes 4 and whatever again, and it's just like, all
We get
right,
rid
man,
of him.
time to
Yeah.
cut ties. But um, I unfortunately by August will find a reason to talk about how we're gonna be great again, and
You'll be bought in again, huh?
yeah. I mean, last year I was talking about a 12-win season because BVG was, and I didn't realize our O line was Swiss cheese, and we were having full on like NIL parties during practice. So like, things I didn't know. I'm out here gambling away money, thinking we're going to have a big season.
Did you bet on the football team too?
Yes,
Don't bet, Rando.
Wins. Well, 7.5 wins for the season. I was
Rando,
like, oh,
but you have
easy.
What happened when you bet on the
Easy.
men's basketball team?
We lose. That's true.
Okay, don't bet on the football team, damn it.
I won't do it. But yeah, that was. And then and we lose to South Carolina. I was like, there goes that bet. And then we played close to Georgia, and then we beat Ole Miss. I was like, oh, we're back. 7.5 is there, and then we just went stinker.
Just yeah.
But
right. It was bad.
Yeah. Death taxes in Kentucky football.
Stop it.
Disappointing you. That's we just please God beat Louisville this year. That's all I'm asking for. It's all I'm asking. Cannot lose to Louisville again. Yes.
Basketball.
Oh, basketball. I had no issue with that. Louisville, whatever. Like baby bro, and Louisville basketball will be whatever. We'll go to Yum Center next year and smack them around like we normally do. But in football, cannot lose to them, especially by like the way we did this year. Just get embarrassed.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Well, thanks, James, for making us break our rule. We weren't talking football, and now you made us. We started this. We started on such a high, all the way up here, and now we're way, way down here. Just kidding. Hey, basketball team, we love you, boys. Thank you for such a great season. You will be remembered forever. Pope's first season and his banner 9, assignment 9, legacy type of run that he's going to go on. I have faith he's going to go on. And you boys are going to be remembered forever. for being the first ones to come in and get it done. So little
I think
go,
the kids
yeah,
do it this way,
yeah.
maybe. I don't
I don't know.
know.
That looks like a gang sign. I wouldn't do that on live. Yep.
I know no gang signs, I promise. I know no gang
Uh,
signs, I swear.
no gang signs. All right, y'all. I think Round of Shots is doing their space for now. So if you want to continue talking Kentucky ball, go jump on there. Appreciate the 985 of you who are watching. Y'all are awesome. We'll be back on next. Go follow Heavy Pour Sports, All UK Ball, KY Sass _ Don't forget the underscore, like I sometimes do. And we'll be we'll have some players on. Other guests going to join us on this show and the Boar Ravel show.
Yep.
So we'll be able to carry you through the off season as we get into another great fall Kentucky football and basketball season. As always, go
Go Cats.
Cats. Peace.